Welcome back. This is part 13 of Graphical User Interface Application Development using Lazarus and Free Pascal. Well, we left off in part 12. We had a situation that I don't know if you recall it, but I'm going to replicate it now and we're going to correct it. As you recall, we modified the log on unit to disable the backdoor user once an administrator was created. And when I tested it, it didn't work. I added an administrator, and then I logged him out. And then I tried using backdoor and it worked, and it shouldn't have. And I've done a little review of the code and it's really simple as to why that's happening. So let's replicate that problem first. The other thing I've done is I've changed the set path setting. Let's run this. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so right now we have to know the user who's the backdoor. Who's the and I think it's John Smith. So it's J Smith, and his password was capital A, lowercase bc, underscore 1234. Is that right? I guess. No. I guess it's not right. Let's see. Is it? Oh, it is. It is right. Okay. I got to remember I have to click the log on button. That hitting enter does not work. Okay. So. Oh, he's a regular user because these are disabled. Okay. So I need to exit out of that. I need to sign in as Jill Smith, and her password was capital JILL underscore 1234. Is that right? Yes. Oh, she's also not an administrator. Well, I've got a different issue here. Don't I? Let's do this. I moved the data files to a folder called data. So let's just delete the user dat file. Now there are no users. And then let's go back in here and run this application again. Oh, it is running. Well, let's stop it from running and let's rerun it. Okay. Backdoor should work now. BAC, CK, tab, DOOR, tab, enter. Backdoor's working. Yes, and I have set path and users both available to me. All right. Now I'm going to add a new user. Brings up our screen. And the username is going to be John Smith. And his user ID is J Smith. And his password is, well, let's just make it J Smith underscore 1234. J Smith underscore 1234. And he's going to be an administrator, right? Now we add him. And we're done with that. Now, let's log out. And let's log in as backdoor. That shouldn't work because we now have an administrator, right? It let us log in. That's a bug. And just to make sure we do have okay, I'm going to have to go in and do a hex dump. I'm going to do a hex dump of this file to see that it is actually there. So we have to go into the terminal, and we need to get to that directory. So we want to change directories to Lazarus, YouTube, and to data. And we're in there, and let's look at that. And there's user's dat. It was created. Now we're going to do a hex dump. We use the capital C option and give it the name of the file, users.dat, and that should do it. Hit enter. Okay, so he's an active user. That's what this A at the beginning stands for. And his name is John Smith. His user ID is J Smith. And this is the MD5 hash value that was computed by taking his password and his user ID. And finally, this letter A means he's an administrator. So that file has been successfully created. All right. So right now, I should be able to exit out, and I should be able to, I should not be able to put in backdoor, tab to the logon button, hit enter. I logged on as backdoor. That shouldn't happen. So why is that happening? Let's go back to our code and take a look. As you recall, on form create, we read through all the users and we determine how many administrators there are. That's what this infinite while loop does. So it reads the file, and if it gets a good status, it increments the record number, and then it looks to see that the status of the user is A, active, and if not, it would just loop again, it would continue. Otherwise, it falls through and it asks, is this user's access code equal to A? If it is, then increment the number of administrators. Well, the problem we have is it only does it on form create. And the form is created initially when the application is first executed. It never happens again. So after I added an administrator, this code didn't get executed, and so the admins count did not get incremented. So it still assumes, back up in here, it still assumes, it still has admins equal to 0, so it's still allowing the backdoor to function. And that's a problem. So if we go to our form, I click somewhere on the form here, and we go to events, We want form show. We want form show. So we want on show this. So let's double click that. And now we have that creates this form show event in our code for the logon screen. Okay? And so every time the logon form is shown, we want all of this code in here to be executed there. So this can all be pulled out of form create. So let's just take all this code out of form create, and I'm going to do a shift delete. And then we're coming down into this code, and we're going to do a shift insert. We've just moved all the code down here. We also need record number, status, and user rec. That all has to get moved. So let's grab all of that code. I'm going to shift delete. Don't need it up there anymore. We're going to come down here. We're going to say we're going to declare variables, var, and we're going to do a shift insert. Okay. Go back up here. That's good. This looks good. Okay. So every time now that the logon form is shown, it's going to read that file first and update the admin's count. All right. And we want admins. We want admins. Where is that? Yes, and admins is declared outside of the implementation, so it's a global. It's available globally. All right. So we want to set admins to 0. We want to set admins to 0. So we've got to take this piece of code, get rid of it here, shift delete, and put it down here in our form show code. Shift insert. All right. So now when the form is shown, we clear admins to 0, the count. We set the record number to 0. We execute the while loop, which reads all the records in the file. For each record, it makes sure that it's an active record. And if the user access is set to A for administrator, it increments the admin's count. And that's it. That should fix the little bug we have. So let's save our changes to our code with a Control S. That'll make that little asterisk go away. There, saved. And let's run it. What we're going to have to do, though, is we need to delete that file, don't we? So here we are in the data directory path. We're going to highlight that file, and we're going to move it to trash. It's empty now. We don't have a user's dat file. So let's go back to our code here. We're going to run. This will compile and run the code. Okay. Since there's no user's dat file, no administrators, so backdoor should now work. All right. We're logging in. It let us in. Now we're going to go to Users, Add. Okay. We're going to make John Smith. He's going to be user ID J Smith. His password's going to be jsmith_1234. Capital JS, lowercase mith_1234. And he's an administrator. We've added him. Now we're going to log out. And now we're going to try logging in as backdoor. See if it works. It failed. Because now we have an administrator, and his name is, his ID is J capital S MITH_1234. No, wrong. That's his password. Okay, J Smith is the user ID, and capital JS MITH_1234 is his password. He's logged on. He obviously has administrative authority now because these are all available to us. Let's go in and take a look at set path. You can see here that now set path, I've added, it's what it previously was, but I've added the data path. So there's now a data directory below all this other stuff, this other path stuff, okay? And I did that because I don't want our data files getting mixed in with our source code files. That could cause some problems. If I delete the wrong file, I could delete a source code file by accident, so we don't want to do that. All right. So that corrects a bug. And what I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to put a Google Drive link in the description for this Part 13 video, and you'll be able to use that to access the files that we've made and changed today. Okay, let's get out of this application. Make sure it did stop running. It did. So today we're going to create a new window, and this is going to be the change window for changing users. So let's go to New Form, and let's drag this a little bit, make it a little bigger. Okay. In the properties, the caption of the form is going to be I think we call it My Application, don't we? What did we call it here when we created this form? My Application users add. So it's going to be My Application users change. Okay. Here's our new unit. Here's the form for our new unit. So our caption is going to be My Application users change. Okay. Now that's our title bar. So if you're going to change a user, what can you change, and how are we going to select the user? Okay. let's see here. It would be nice to have a list of current users. So let's see what this does. This is, I did shut off something I shouldn't have shut off. It's not telling me what these objects are. I think this is it's a list box, which is what I want. So I want a label. That tells me what the box is. Okay, so this label is going to be a list of the current users. So I'm going to say current users. And the name of this is label current users. Okay. And this is a list box. And the name of it's going to be, call it lowercase lbx. Oops, I'm making that caps. lbx current users. Okay. And what are other features about this list box? Well, let's stretch that out. We're going to disable auto sizing. So that lets us drag this to fit the top of the box. And we're going to align it centered. And select the box like this. Okay. So we'll have a name in here. And what we're going to do is this list of names. Okay. Now maybe we don't need it this wide. Maybe we can get by with it being this wide. And let's grab all that. And let's I think it's let's just drag the whole thing up a little bit. So when the screen pops up, it'll give us our list. And we're only changing users, so I think the rule is we can't change the user's name. The existing name cannot be changed. We are going to show it on the screen. So this is going to be, no, I didn't want to do that. I want a labeled panel. I want a labeled panel here. It's a group, it's called a group box. Okay, it's not called a labeled panel. And this group box its name is going to be group selected user. So here's the current name. So it's going to be GBX for group box, and it's going to be selected user. Oops. Selected user, right? And the caption for this box right here is going to be selected user that, and when that is selected, okay, so there, maybe we need to make it just a little wider, just a bit wider. That looks close, doesn't it? Like that. Let's make this a little wider. Yeah. Drag that over. Lined up. And maybe drag these back a little bit. Okay, and then the selected user is going to have, they have a name. The name's going to be immutable. We won't be able to change the user's name, but we will display it. So this is going to say user's name. Put a little thing there. And auto sizing is going to be turned off. So let's hit enter for that. Turn off auto sizing. Drag this. Oh, crud. Didn't want to do that. Pick the name. I want to drag it like this a bit. Yeah. And I want to right justify it. Okay. Now we're not going to use an edit box to display the name. I'm going to choose a blank panel is what I'm going to do here. And this panel, the alignment is going to be left justify. Now this is already selected. If I hold the shift key down and I click user's name, it picked both of them. And now I can go in and click on size. And I don't want to mess with the width, but I do want to do the height, and I want to grow to the largest. Click OK. Okay. And now, are they lined up? Let's take a look here. They're not lined up, so I can drag panel down. Now they're aligned. And user's name, that property that we're having problem with there is called layout. And if you look over here in layout, it's set to top. We want that to be center. Now you can see that the name now aligns with the word panel. And let's drag this over a bit. Yeah, maybe not that close. And let's drag the panel out like this. That's big enough for the name. Now the caption in panel is panel 1. We don't want there to be any caption there. So I pick that, I just delete that, hit enter. The caption's gone. We want to give this panel a name. And so down here for the name of this object, we're going to call this PNL user name. Okay, that's what that is. And we're going to have user ID. Drag this down a little bit. This form's going to need to be a little bit longer. Okay, so we've got this. What else can we do with panel to make it look kind of like an edit box? So it has border style none. What can we do with that? Single. There we go. And the border width, we'll make that 1. And that kind of looks like an edit box. We can make the color, currently the color looks, it's kind of the same as the form background color. So we can go to color and we can make it white. There we go. Now it kind of looks like an edit box. Okay. Can we change a user's ID? I guess we can. So we need another, we're going to copy that. Going to paste it right here. And this is going to be called user's ID. So let's go down to the name. Oh, is this still called? Did I rename that? No, that's still called label 1. It's not. This is going to be LBL user name. And this is going to be LBL user ID. ID. Okay. And so that means we got to change the caption here. So the caption is going to be user's ID. Right? Right. So there's user ID. We are going to be able to change that. Okay, so that will have an edit box. That's this right here. Going to have an edit box. Right. Are these lined up? So I got to make that edit box the same height as user ID. Yeah. All right. Do a shift click. Nope. Control click. Control click. Shift click. right click, size, height, grow to largest. Okay, they're the same now. Well, I didn't set auto size to false. So now I got to do this again. Okay. Size, grow to largest. Okay. I saw it work that time. So now these are all lined up. Okay, and this edit box is going to be named edit user ID, and its contents, which is the text, that's going to be set to blank. All right. And we'll stretch this box out to be the same length as the panel above. And now we can hit control, is it control shift? Here. And we're going to copy that. I'm going to paste it. And this is going to be now this is the user's password. This is the user's password. We don't know the password. We don't store the password. So this is going to be new password. So the name of this is LBL new password. Okay. So this text in here, which is the caption actually, it's the caption, that's going to be changed. That's going to say I think we just say new password, new password, right? Yes, I think that's right. Okay. And since we don't display, excuse me, and since we don't display the password, so this is the name of this box is now edit new password, right? Excuse me. And what's next here? We're going to have to confirm it. So we're going to have to confirm the new password. So I really think I should say confirm new password. So let's select all these and drag them here a little bit. And then let's select all of these. I'm doing that by holding the Shift key down while I click on each box. And now I can take this handle and grab it by holding the the left mouse button down and just dragging them over. You see how that resized all of it nicely? Now what I want to do, I want to grab that box, and then I hold down the shift key and click that box, and then I right click on it and I say I want to copy it. Okay. Then I pick the box I'm going to copy it into, and then I press the right mouse button down and I say paste. And here we go. And now I can drag this right. And now I pick this box here, and I'm going to change the caption. Right now it says new password. I'm going to hit the home key. I'm going to say confirm. And that, and when I hit enter, that's what that is. So we got to put the label right. The label's not right. So the label is wrong. I want the label to say label confirm new password. All right. And this box, the edit box, excuse me, the name of that is, and that's going to be edit confirm new password. Get rid of the one on the end. Okay. So that's all the stuff for the selected user. And we don't need this box to be that big now. That's about right. And then the button down at the bottom will be change. So we need a button. Put it down here. And that's going to be labeled, that's the caption of the button. It's going to be change. So let's just shift and delete. And it's going to be change all caps. And the name of the button is going to be BTN change. Okay. Now, let's grab all of this stuff and drag it down just a little bit. Okay, like that. This is fine up here. Maybe I could drag that down just a notch like that. So this is going to list the usernames, all right? And then you're going to highlight one of them. And whatever one you highlight, when you click select, so there's going to be a button here, and that button is going to be called select. So the caption is going to be select. We could say select user. Oh, we could make it now. That's fine for now. And the name of that object is going to be shift in, delete. We're going to see BTN select. Makes it very simple. All right. So this is good. Yeah, this will work. I think this will be just fine. Let's see what we've got here for the properties for this list box. Okay, the border style is single. Let's see, double buffered, blah, 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 enabled, it's going to be enabled. Extended select, it's going to be false. Extended select allows you to select multiple items in the list. We don't want that. It's going to be, you're going to want to select one at a time. We can change the font of the characters in the box if we wish. The current box height is 192 pixels. Okay. The index is set to -1, which means there's nothing selected. Okay. You see multi-select is false. Okay. All right. Now I think this has automatic scroll bars. I think. Because I don't see where you can tell it to put scroll bars on here. I think they just happen when the number of items in the list exceeds the display area. Then a scroll bar appears over here on this edge. Because I don't see where I can pick scroll bars. So I think that's good. So what are we going to do when this form appears? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to populate this box. Okay. So that's on form show. So I've clicked on the form, and over here in events, we're going to have on show. There it is right there. So is it on show? Yes. So on show. Well, let's name this unit. This unit's going to be called, users change. Okay. All right. And we should name the form. Right now I think it's called Form 1, isn't it? Yeah, it's called Form 1. I don't like that. So we're going to change that to Form, FRM, users change. All right. You'll see it changed it in here now. All right. Now, my application, you notice over here, it changed. Let's just go to that and see what happened. Well, it's called Unit 1 here, right? It's not Unit 1 because we're renaming that unit. So this is going to get changed to users change. Is that right? Let's just make sure. Here's unit 1. Yes, users change. So we've renamed it in here. It's important we do that. Okay. I really wish that, well, I haven't renamed it yet. If I do a Control S, it says users change. I like these capitalized. I don't know why it insists on all lowercase, but I wished it would use the case that I put in the unit. Save it. Okay. Now it's correct. All right. Okay, so we have this event right here. I have a select user click. I actually don't need that really. At any rate, form show. What are we going to do when the form is shown? Well, we're going to go out and populate that box. And we're going to do it in a fashion very, very similar to what we do when we do a logon. When the logon form show event happens, right? So we can basically take this variable list, right? And we can hit Control Insert, and then I can go to our new form here, unit, and I can, on form show, I can insert that right here, Shift Insert. And let's go back to logon. And here we read through. Now I don't have to keep track of how many administrators there are. We're not really doing that. We're just getting a list of the users. So we get home, and this is all good. The comments, everything here are fine. So we're going to grab all this code that reads through the file sequentially. So we do a Control Insert to grab that. And then we come back over here to our change thing. And between the begin and the end for the form show event, we just do a Shift Insert. And now we are, so now we use recno, right? Set it to 0. Read the file. If the status is less than 0, we break. That's fine. We increment the record number. Okay. If the user's not active, we're not going to show them. That's fine. And then we don't have if he's an administrator, though. Here's where our logic changes. We're just listing names. Okay. So right in here is where we're going to build our list. Now, how do we do that? So we have our list box right here. So right in here, we're going to say add active user name to the list box. Okay. How do we do that? Okay, so it's called LBX. So we have LBX current users dot add item. Pretty straightforward, isn't it? Add item. And what are we adding? We're adding the string in the record that has the user's name in it, right? So we're just going to put in here user rec dot you see we're having this problem where it's not listing the proper field names. Okay, why is that? We didn't define tuserrec. And how do we do that? We include the file that has the definition in it, right? So right in here, let's go back and look at I don't need that. We're going to use users add. When we did users add, we include, right before our variable list, we do this include user rec. So we can just grab this. Just grab these lines. Control insert. And we're going to do this before our variable list, before implementation. So we go back over here. Here's the variable list before implementation. And we just do a shift insert right here. And put it right here. All right, now our record's defined. So down here, if I press a dot now, you see we're getting the correct stuff now. So I'll just pick username, hit enter, and that's what we're gonna store in the box. Okay. And what we can do is, if you have a lot of usernames, we can sort them. So what you can do here is, after adding all the names to the box, well, I think we can just say sorted. Let's see here. Yes. So right in here, we've currently selected the list box. If we go back here and look, this is the list box. You see it highlighted here. The handle, the resizing handles are evident. That means, and right in here it's saying we're currently focused on the list box, and then in here, here's the name of the list box. But what I'm going to get to is right here, you can specify the list be sorted. So if I click this and make it true, when it populates this box, they will be in sorted order. And currently, it's first name, last name. So if Charlie will be up here near the top, and Xander will be down here near the bottom. So that's how that works. And right now, we could test this, I believe. Why not? Okay, so we only have one user currently. Let me just Control S this. We have one user. I guess we could just test it with one user. Guess so. So we need to hook up that button, don't we? So here we are, files, users, change. Okay. And basically, we're going to do a show modal. So this is going to be an F users change dot show modal. So we've just hooked up the users change form to my application, and it's when the users change menu selection is clicked. Okay? So let's save that change, Control S. All right, let's run this and let's just see what kind of damage we get. Oh, okay. It says here, this identifier was not found. That's because it's form. I called it form, didn't I? So let's save that. And let's try running it again. No. Well, what is that thing called? Let's take a look here. It's users change. Form users change. Oh, I think I didn't. I did not. You have to add the unit. My application. Yeah, I didn't add. Here's the problem right here. I did not put users change in here. That's why it's having problems. It's users change. You've got to add the unit that you're referencing in the unit where it's being referenced. So that's the bug. And is it FRM? Users change? Yes, it is. I'm not being consistent, am I? That should really say just F users change, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. I'm too lazy. So let's save that change and let's try running this again. Ah. I also need to reference our file IO, our random file IO. This unit, right? That is also needed. So that's UR file IO. That needs to be up here too. And okay. Okay. And let's see, where do I declare that in users add? Right after implementation in a uses clause. Okay, so right after implementation in the uses clause. Okay, so we're going to put that uses unit R file IO. Okay, better save that. Save it. Let's try running. Okay. It says I need app file path. And app file path is actually, so that's another that's another uses. App file path is in logon. So I have to add unit logon. So we'll add that and let's try it again. Oh, and I have to give it the name of the form. So in unit logon, the form name is form logon. So I have to supply that as well. FRM logon. I can just grab that right here. That. Control insert. And then go back here and just hit Shift Insert. And it looks like I'm wrapping. So I gotta do this. And hit End, delete. All right, clean that up. Hit Control S to save it. Let's try running it again. And we're down here, and it says error, found declaration. Wrong number of parameters. Wrong number of parameters. Huh. And what are the parameters? String and object. An object. An object is an optional object instance associated with the item. Nil. So can I use nil here? Let's try that. Save it. Run. How about that? Okay, we're in. We only have one user. So, and this is what? JSmith? JSmith. Oops, not all. JSmith. And it's JSmith. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in. And we're going to do a change. And look at that. When it comes up, John Smith is in there. Now, the idea is going to be you'll select him, you'll highlight the name you want to change, and then you'll click Select. And then that will populate these boxes, okay? That's the idea. Okay. Very good. Well, I think what we're going to do is, instead of making this a 1.5 hour video clip, I think it's probably a good idea just to stop where we're at right here and call it a day. So we've done quite a bit. We've added a new we've added the change form for the user. We corrected a bug, and we've actually got part of the change user form working. We've used a list box, which is the first time we've done that. So probably the next time we come back and meet again, what we'll do is we'll add 10 or 15 users and make sure that the list box, that the scroll bar appears in the list box. And then what we will do is we will hook the logic up to do the select, to populate the box down below, and then to do the actual change, where you change the user's ID and password, and when you click change, it will go into the file, and in place in the file where that record currently exists, it will modify it right there in place. I think that's a good way to go. All right, so as usual, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you found it useful, helpful, And if you did, please press the like button. And if you want to see more of this content, please subscribe. I currently have 13 subscribers as of this moment, and I appreciate every one of you that have subscribed. I hope you're enjoying these. As always, if you want to make comments, please do. I appreciate comments. I've had some in the past, and I look forward to some in the future. So at any rate, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.